Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Horse Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Okay, so Dave Filoni apparently doesn't live in a complete bubble. We talked about how he found out that the people were curious if the Loth cat from Ahsoka had a name,
Sure, yeah.
because he's not social media present. But it seems that he has found out that people, some viewers, have an issue with how the Force is portrayed in Ahsoka.
Yeah, there are some of us. Huh.
Yeah. He was kind of surprised that so many people were shocked that Sabine showed some real aptitude for the Force, despite having no, prior history or lineage that would suggest any sort of connection. I mean, he didn't ever show in Rebels that she had any connection to the Force, which is part of why people were upset. So a lot of people have been saying that he possibly was retconning how the Force works, that Sabine didn't really earn her abilities, that they just kind of gave them to her. That's kind of what the internet's been saying. I mean, things have been a little wonky in the world of the Force since Ahsoka came out. Filoni was just on Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch, where he kind of talked back about how some of the fans have been receiving this information. He says the idea that she's not incredibly adept at wielding the Force, I think, is a strong thing. It's amazing how fans in the Star Wars franchise has evolved. There are all these thoughts and opinions and groups. You can find different camps on how they think everything works. So he's kind of implying that the way certain Star Wars groups think the Force works may not be the correct way.
According to him.
Yes, that he believes that he is now the guru on how the Force works.
Yeah, he apparently does.
I find it so strange that he actually came out and kind of said that. It sounds a little odd.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dave's kind of clapped back a little bit, right?
Sounds like it. Sounds like he's a little frustrated that people had some issues with Sabine being...
You can find different camps on how they think everything works.
That is an interesting way to word it, right?
It is. It's pretty much saying, well, I'm right, but I guess other people think it works a different way. But he's also saying that they're clearly not right.
Yes.
Yes. He also said, part of the problem is, it's like anything in life that you want to do. You have to train hard to acquire the skills. Everyone can become a Jedi, and everybody cannot become a Jedi because we know there are things in our life, take martial arts, or even something like yoga, and say that if I did that, that's better for me, that's healthier, that's empowering, so why don't we all do it? Because it takes time, it takes commitment, and even people that do it don't all turn out to be great at it.
Well, sure.
It's literally saying everybody can use the Force. Some people just don't because they don't have the commitment.
Sure. It's like anything. I get what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in life that you want to be really good at, unless you are just extremely naturally talented, takes a lot of effort and practice. But what I've been arguing a lot lately is, let's say here on Earth the Force was a real thing that people could learn how to tap into and use. Like, how many people do you think would actually put in the time and effort? I think it would be a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. It would be more...
It would be
It'd be
nearly
more difficult to find people who didn't want to take advantage of having something like that on your side.
It would be nearly everybody who tried it, right? And a lot of people would probably fail and, would not have the commitment, right? But there are a lot of people. If you told them, like, if you train hard enough, if you do whatever exercises, mental exercises, whatever, you can gain this advantage. Because that's what people would look at it as an advantage.
Absolutely, because it is an advantage.
Yeah, it'd be a huge advantage to be able to manipulate people's minds or the physical world around you or whatever else you might be able to unlock. Everybody would try it. Few people would really succeed, but many would probably be out there doing all they could to get there and learning some ability. We'd have to enact laws around using the Force and all sorts of things. It'd be crazy.
Well, you also have to think of, I know this is going to take it in a weird direction, but think of it in like the larger scale of our world.
I already took it in a weird direction,
I know.
So you can keep going.
Everyone can be a millionaire. We just all don't have the commitment to be a millionaire.
That's a great example, actually, right? Everybody can be a millionaire.
Just like you're saying, everyone can be a genius if they work really hard at it, but it's not true. Literally, people's brains have different capacities and what they can learn, what they can't learn. Everyone has aptitudes that point in different directions. Everybody can't be everything. It's not always a matter of, I worked hard enough, I get this.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, and I think he's partly making that point and he's partly not. It's such a strange argument, I think.
Really weird argument.
Yeah, because not everybody can learn to use the Force. There would be some people, as you're kind of pointing out, that just wouldn't have the mental aptitude.
Exactly.
The same way not everybody can make the NBA, no matter how much you train or practice and play. You just don't have it.
Right. I'm not going to grow a couple feet and be like, look, I can dunk now.
Yeah.
It's just not something I'm ever going to be able to do. No amount of me training is going to make it so I'm like a competent dunker.
No, or just a competent, I mean, no offense, or just a competent basketball player. Some people have that natural talent, others don't. And I think most people have always kind of thought that's how it worked in Star Wars. I think the midi-chlorians kind of implied like there's this kind of threshold, right? You either got a high enough count to learn how to do these things or you don't.
Yeah. If you don't have a certain threshold, you're probably never going to be able to get something to move.
No, you're not. Yeah, exactly.
So,
you're never going to learn how to really tap into it and do it. So the reason why people have, issues with Sabine is because here she is, she's in her late 20s and now she's learning how to use the Force when we've also kind of been told like it's, you got to tap into that at a young age. Otherwise,
they want you to start when you're young because the amount of dedication it takes to learn it. And you're not going to pick it up in an afternoon.
No, it's going to take a long time, especially if you don't have that natural ability or natural talent, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. But what worries me a little bit is based on Filoni's words here in his recent promotion, could we see more stories like Sabine's cropping up in the Star Wars universe from here on out?
I hope not. I hate to say it. I like the idea that the Force is something that every now and then some people are born with that they can tap into, and others, they're a part of it, don't get me wrong. They may be able to scratch the surface, but they can never really truly harness it.
Well, why didn't Yoda just train everybody?
Well, why the
Jedi were in such a dire state, why didn't they just start training anyone who was in the rebellion to be a Jedi, to have those abilities? If everyone can do it, why... It's like the holdout maneuver. If you could do it all the time, why aren't we doing it?
That's true. Once you open Pandora's box, essentially, now you have this problem of, well, why don't more people learn how to use the Force?
We know that Ahsoka was working with Bail Organa. Why wasn't she training every rebel soldier to learn how to use the Force, to have their spies learn how to mind trick people and get information? Yeah. Why weren't these things happening when the Empire took control?
It's because
Why did Luke have to start a school and he's seeking out students? We could just literally welcome anyone. You could put up a sign put up an ad on the HoloNet. You want to learn to be a Jedi? Come to my school. Apparently, everyone can be taught.
Apparently.
No, I disagree with his blanket statement. I'm sorry, but everyone isn't good at everything. No matter how much dedication, it's sad to say, there are some things that will always be unachievable.
I don't think that's sad to say. I think that's just a reality you have to accept if you're a living, breathing human being, that you're not going to be able to do anything you want in life. That's a sad fact, right? Some people are born with...
No matter how much you might try at something, there are still some things you just can't do.
Yeah, I think you need to accept that more than we need to lament it in a way.
No, people need to learn and play to their strengths.
Yeah.
Not say, well, this is what I want to do. But if it's unachievable, you don't just get hung up on that. You got to do things that you enjoy, that you're good at.
You have to find both. Yeah. You have to find something you're good at and that you enjoy doing. You can't just say, I'm, again, going to the basketball. Like, I'm a 5 foot, guy and have no athletic ability and I want to make the NBA. Well, no. Right? Yeah. That's not in your future. So find something else. That doesn't mean you can't still play some basketball, but let go of that unrealistic dream. You have to, again, find something you enjoy in life, find something you can do, and try to find some happiness in that. And I almost think this is kind of this weird thing. Like, anybody can train to be a Jedi. No.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of almost sends the wrong message, I think.
I think anyone could train to, learn the Jedi ordeals, the selfless acts of the Jedi, more of their mantras, but not everybody should be using the Force. No. Because by that statement, we're also saying anyone could be a Sith.
Well, it should be. I mean, the dark side, I did a video on this the other day on my channel, the dark side is the quick and easy path. So
why aren't there more Sith in the universe?
Exactly.
If everyone can be a Jedi, if everyone can harness to use the Force, you don't think bad guys would be cropping up all over the place?
They would be, absolutely.
Because they might even be more dedicated to use it than the good guys.
That's the whole quandary of Star Wars itself, right? The selflessness is hard. It's hard to be someone who is selfless and wants to give for others. It is very easy to be selfish and to want to do for yourself. So in theory, it would be really easy for someone who, I'm an evil, selfish bastard. I want to learn how to use the Force. it should, in theory, be much, much easier for that person to tap into the dark side than someone who's like, yeah, I'm gonna use it for the right reasons. I want to train to be a Jedi.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a little fluff piece I have today.
All right.
The Bespin Bullet, they posted a leak from Skeleton Crew.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm kind of excited. We've heard nothing about this show.
Right. It was kind of a weird way they phrased it too, but let's just get straight to the leak and then we'll work on their phrasing.
Okay.
So, Bespin Bullet has the name of Max Rebo Kid. Its name is Neil.
Neil Rebo?
Neil. Just Neil. Because Max Rebo guys are just named normal names. Like, we got Max and Neil.
Max and Neil, and their friends Tim and Wade from other parts of Star Wars.
Tim with 2 M's, because it's cooler.
Yeah, very earthly, American names there.
I'm waiting for Bob.
Bob and Joe.
Bob and Joe.
The new Rebo band. So this is the leak?
Yes. The leak is that we have the name of Max Rebo Kid. His name is Neil. He apparently has less screen time than the other children.
Okay.
I sense xenophobia.
I sense the dark side in you.
The most interesting part of him sharing the leak was how he phrased when he was sharing it. He said that, he, meaning the Bespin Bullet, stated it as if their hand was forced. That they had to put this out there now because my hand is forced. Which is a very strange thing to say because both Bespin Bullet and Making Star Wars say that Skeleton Crew is not coming till holiday 2024, which means we shouldn't be expecting to see a trailer anytime soon.
No.
So what information is about to hit the internet that he wanted to make sure that he broke this first?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's not like it's...
It's just a name of a character. It's no story implications. It's just Neil.
This isn't like, oh my god, this changes everything I thought about the show. It's like, oh, the character has a name now. Cool.
It could also be that they want to continue building credibility. If they can throw this out here, like, before it gets out there that's showing that they are credible. They've had credible leaks in the past. I'm not going to take anything of like that away from them. It's just interesting.
I guess that's probably what it is, right? If you have this little tidbit, and it's even if it's kind of insignificant, at the
as long as it's correct, you're building your own credibility.
Yeah, and if you get something out there that's correct, that implies you have, sources.
Real sources.
Yeah, and you can get other news out there in the future. So that must be what it is. Something is about to be dropped about maybe in an Entertainment Weekly article or something. Even though it's a year away, maybe they're going to try to hype up their coming projects or something. I don't know.
Star Wars coming in 2024. We're going to have Skeleton Crew with Neil.
But no, I mean, there could be a big thing coming. They might be about ready to announce their schedule for next year, and they might tell us character names and stuff. So if he gets it out there first, it shows he has some sort of insider information.
Right.
So I guess it makes sense. I guess. I mean, though it's still Neil. No offense to any Neils out there, but it's not the most exciting name for Star Wars ever. All right, well, I guess that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. Tell us what you think about Neil in Star Wars. Whatever the case may be, though, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.